So I'm just documenting this about Ze Frank. This is a Reddit thread about Ze Frank. It was started 11 years ago. It's entitled Explanation as to Ze Frank's Disappearance. I don't want to read through all of it. I will kind of slowly scroll down though, so that you guys can pause it and read for yourselves. There is one section that I would like to read. So this guy is starting off the whole conversation by basically just saying, you know, why did Ze Frank abandon his first series, a show with Ze Frank, one of his first series. And I guess there was a whole community centered around him and that video series, and it sort of puttered out and lost steam. And there are some people that feel like Ze abandoned the community, I guess, when he became the president of BuzzFeed Motion Pictures. So here's what I wanted to read. This person responding to the initial post, and they go by Support and Comfort. Again, this is 11 years ago, roughly. So this person says, I produced Ze's original show, coded the site, and built and managed the community, conceptualized and coded all the games, activities, Earth Sandwich, King of the Comments, wiki customizations, etc. Handled all the sponsorships and advertising. Also designed, coded, and built the ORG. I received no compensation by choice, and in fact spent tens of thousands of dollars of personal funds on the project. He's repeatedly taken credit for my work in talks and even in books. Called me begging for an idea, then took it straight to a TV network. It's all a bit horrifying. Consider his weird public fights with Disney, Douglas Coupland, is it? And others. Deleting his zefrank.com forum in a drunken rage. So I'll repeat that part. Deleting his zefrank.com forum in a drunken rage. And that's not the only time they mention him having a problem with alcohol. Letting the other zefrank.com forum fill with viruses. Letting a third forum get overrun with spam. Repeatedly abandoning his audience when he doesn't get sufficient attention. And plagiarism. He treats his audience like a petri dish. Much of my work was trying to keep that within ethical bounds. When his interaction formula works, it can be fun. But when it doesn't work, it's sociopathy. The lack of empathy he shows in these recent emails is astounding. This person up here posted an email conversation back and forth between themselves and Ze. I tried clicking on the link. Oh, no, that's the video. Thank you. So there is a link here. Where is it? Oh, maybe it's this one down here. Yeah, here, this one. It's supposed to show the email conversation between the guy who posted on Reddit and Ze Frank. And it keeps just bringing me to this page. I'll try searching for that information more later. But again, I just wanted to get this little Reddit thread in video on evidence. So yeah, the lack of empathy he shows in these recent emails is astounding. And they're asking, what's your name? Sent you a private message. Is this true? Can you tell us more? Then they continue. Here's a snack. Right as the original show wrapped up, Zay was offered a network television show for kids. Could have pitched whatever he wanted to do. Handled it exactly wrong. Actually got insulted by the offer. His Hollywood career ended at precisely that moment, but it took him a while to figure it out. Dumbass never watched Pee-wee's Playhouse. Never took the time to deconstruct the genius and symbology behind Fred Rogers. Just dismissed the offer out of hand because he considered it beneath him. Just think about the potential there, the puzzles and games, a way to leverage that hunky, happy, inspirational vibe without the occasional wince-worthy dumbing down he suffers from, because it's for kids, damn it. Now he's doing cat food voiceovers for BuzzFeed and telling Pizza Hut executives about that time he got people to play rock, paper, scissors on Twitter. Nailed it. Then someone chimes in with, wow, never thought Zay would be like that IRL in real life. For what it's worth, we could send him some combined mail or something to try and get him back on YouTube properly, or TV, long shot. I always had the impression he was bipolar and or alcohol addicted. Is this so? Because then we might coach him into therapy. He's married to a psychologist, guys. Anyway, I hope this isn't the end, and a million thanks for all you did for the show and for all of us. Somebody saying, why are you so bitter? Let's see if some replies to that. Yeah, there we go. This person just said what I responded with what I just said. Support and comfort. Zay's wife is a clinical psychologist, so I don't think a Kickstarter campaign for therapy is likely to move the needle. Likewise, his obviously deteriorating physical health should be enough to discourage write-in campaigns for more creative output. That said, he produced 900 videos for BuzzFeed in 2013. I personally can't get behind the BuzzFeed model, but that's where his energies are now. The fact that he didn't come clean on the switch indicates that he's probably second-guessing it too. P.S. BuzzFeed is idiotic. You are very right. Likewise, his obviously deteriorating physical health should be enough to discourage write-in campaigns for more creative output. Damn, this person is... Zay, this person is meaner to you than I am, I think. I mean, I just said you were gay a few times. And then, just some chit-chat down there. Let's go back to... This is actually really interesting. So you also did the Christian, Buddhist, atheist duck game. I wondered how one man could code a website, film, edit, and be creative. It is hard to juggle all that, guys, as somebody who's worked as a creative person. So, for example, I'm a visual artist. It's hard enough just doing the work, like if you're commissioned to paint a portrait, that's hard enough doing that work. But then a whole other aspect is finding people to do the work for, like finding clients. That's part of the job too. There's so much more to the job that's, at the end of the day, one person almost can't handle. I've thought very seriously in the past about hiring some sort of manager or somebody to bring in clients for me, and then I would just do the artwork for them. Because it's just, there's a lot to being a content creator of any sort. So, support and comfort. Zay did all the Flash stuff on his site, 1998 through 2005, by himself, long before the show. Even I couldn't bring order to the chaos that was and remains zayfrank.com. I was challenging Zay to go bigger and to stop doing this sort of lowbrow crap like getting people to stack pennies or play with toilet paper. He responded with the Earth Sandwich concept, which is brilliant. But he didn't really know how to communicate it. To use a show as an example, you can't just slap things on a list of missions and expect people to start doing amazing things. Google was pushing their Google Maps technology at the time, and I built the opposite side of the world tool using it. Google showed it at a press event, and that's how the whole thing really got rolling. Getting people to upload pictures even if they couldn't otherwise participate in the challenge, installing and trying to bulletproof that buggy piece of crap open source gallery software, linking the photos to points on a Google map, embracing and pushing the new GPS standards for web pages, photos, and then using that to get slash dotted. That's the sort of stuff I did. When you've got actual tech and real press behind things, it's almost easy to look cool talking about it in a video. Somebody asks then, can you tell us the circumstances how you fell out with him? And the guy replies with, I know there's a reply because I read that part. So here's the reply. No drama. We pretty much just drifted apart after the show wrapped. He didn't want to do videos anymore, and I certainly didn't want to do any more producer babysitting stuff. I did hook him up with a very lucrative sponsor. I also put him in touch with some pretty heavy people in Hollywood, and he acted really, really weird. It reflected badly on me, so I withdrew. So there's that. Let's see if there's more to this thread. I think I read like most of it. Did we read this part? Yeah, and so people are chiming in with other stuff about, but this is by people who, I guess, who don't really know him, I don't think knew him or worked with him, so I'm not as interested in what they have to say. They're just sort of giving their opinion from the periphery as to what happened to his show. But yeah, I'm scrolling slowly so you guys can read. And yeah, mostly just what I wanted to read to you guys was that part that had been posted by someone who is claiming to have worked with him extensively on some of his first projects. This person is saying, I mean, Zay's far from being a stable person. They're acting as if they know who he is. Since he rarely makes videos, and any videos he does make, he replies to less than 5 comments with short sentences, and that he doesn't really reply on Facebook or Twitter as far as I've seen, this makes me doubtful. To be honest, Zay's not good at communication as far as I can see. For being someone who promotes the idea of online social interaction, he's pretty damn unsocial. I don't know. Maybe it's an ego thing. I mean, Zay's far from being a stable person. A lot of people are just annoyed at the indifference on his part. Although Zay doesn't owe us anything, it's common courtesy to tell someone you're jumping ship instead of leaving them to sink with no idea. Also, you mentioned about Reddit being a new regroup. Maybe, but the community is extremely fragmented right now. I'm building workarounds on the A Show forum site to navigate through spam, meaning I have to scan through 5,000 plus posts, and list all the posts that had some discussion to them, 10 plus comments. I do this in chunks at the moment, and I have opened a post where newbies can post a link to their new post so it doesn't get lost under the spam. I have both Zay to thank and myself for pestering him for about 2 or so months to actually do something, which ended up with me moderating the site with only one permission awarded, the ability to make stickies. Most likely I'll be telling SRs here that the forum has been salvaged when I finish doing this archive sort of thing. Let's see more replies. Support and Comfort is weighing in again. I love the hack of using stickies to create an index of non-spam posts at the forum. It's like watching a dandelion sprout in the middle of the freeway. Genius. +5. Hug. That said, I set up exactly that shitty forum software for Jonathan Colton's community years ago. The fact that you're treated like a circus monkey instead of given the admin rights you need is pure jackassery. I'll posit 2 reasons for it. First, oblivious to your toil and struggle, Zay loves watching it evolve. Empty petri dishes are no fun, you know. Keep up the good work, and maybe you'll be a bullet point on a slide at TEDx Van Nuys 2016. Right before he talks about his forum and the importance of humanity. Yep. Second, doing any popular web stuff, one gets inundated with offers to help, but never from people with a body of quality community work. Why? Anyone who's ever run a forum is either a narcissistic, power-tripping fuckwit or a dying soul desperately trying to figure out how to escape from the responsibility without hurting people. Sometimes both. Regardless, nobody sane and experienced is looking to take on yet another spam haven with some weirdo's name in the URL. So you're a potential liability, and in his world, Google associating zayfrank.com with boner pills and knockoff handbags is far better than someone who might disturb his precious experiment in a way he can't predict. Why Zay couldn't spend some of the $150K donation fund on a web design that didn't suck and a copy of the Bulletin forum software also remains a mystery. Lab rats just don't deserve plants in their cages, I guess. Wow. I thought everyone loved you, Zay. I thought I was the only one who disliked you. Except maybe your wife. I think this person might dislike you more than I do. And I'm softening on that front anyway. Is it worth it to try and save the forum? The spam problem won't be solved anytime soon, and there's clearly no interest or no time on Zay's part to either deal with it himself or give some SRs the ability to deal with it. Reddit seems like a pretty good workaround. There's no spam and it's easy to register. The only disadvantage I see is that it'll be limited in terms of growth. So I would have guessed, my first guess would have been he got overrun with a bunch of new opportunities. It's hard to juggle a lot of when you're a creator and you make stuff, especially if you're making stuff, that a community gets behind. We move on, we make more things. New communities start, and it's just hard. There's only so much time in the day. You can only juggle so much. I will say this, though. What this person has been implying about Zay Frank treating his audience sort of like they're a petri dish, and he's like a little mad scientist, rings true with me in terms of just the overall sense I've gotten from him in my research and just studying him in his videos and just knowing his background, his education. It does not surprise me to hear him described in this way by someone who's worked personally with him, as being somebody who maybe is a little bit too separated from is not considering enough the humanity of the people he's sort of studying and messing with. And I have to say along those lines, because I've considered this many, many times during the course of the last, couple of years, I will so not be pleased if it turns out that I am another experiment, dude. Like, if this has all been just let's do this and see what she does. Let's make this happen, see what she does. Let's make one of her cats disappear, see what happens. I will just absolutely if I get over that one, it will take some time. Nobody wants to be an experiment. At one point, somewhere in this thread, it says that you blew through $1 million. I remember reading that. But yeah, I mean, this is out there. It's on Reddit, guys. If you want to continue reading more and more of it, I don't want to make this a very long video. And I feel like this is a fairly long thread. Here it is. Here's that part. And this comes from the Support and Comfort, the guy who claims to have worked with Zay. It says Zay received over $1 million in personal funding since 2012, pissed that away, and is now executive vice president of a Manhattan-based media company that received nearly $50 million in funding. He graduated from an Ivy League university where he met his wife, a doctor. He doesn't need to make cat food videos for rent. So yeah, why are you making cat food videos? That's the question. You got money, dude. What's with the cat food videos? We produced 251 episodes of the original 2006 show with zero funding. In the Scott Kirshner book, Zay says, I only really capitalized on the show for 7 months, but it was the most money I ever made. More replies. Let's see if there's anything here. If you don't mind my asking, what part did you play in that process? I've never had any insight into the video making process for a lot of people. And they respond with, the working relationship was that he did everything inside the video frame and I took care of everything outside of it. But it turned out to be a little more complicated than that. I commented below. Let's see what that says. I think he just sort of posted he just sort of sent us right back to one of his older comments that I already read through as an example. So yeah, all right, I'm going to leave it there. And again, this is a Reddit thread. It's called Explanation as to Zay Frank's Disappearance. Here's the, let's see if I can... There's that. And I will just, here's what I'll do. I'll just do this. So if you guys want the exact URL for that Reddit thread, it's right here. And yeah, I'll just leave it there. Again, just gathering evidence, just anything I can find on his personal character, what people who've worked with him, met him, know him personally, what they have to say about him. And I'll leave you guys to come up with your own conclusions based on what's being said.